Alright, welcome back everybody to another video in our multiplayer game series. We will continue on with our combat system. As always, link in the description to Patron and project files for those who want to support me and get the project. And let's just keep going. So we are working on the combat system. So I think we need to, because we have this player details, we need another one for AI, because I kind of want to separate it, because it's gonna be a lot of different stuff in them. So let's make a new blueprint structure. Call it BPS NPC details. So this will be similar, but not exactly the same. Just thinking, should it be exactly the same? No. So, first will be a text NPC name. Or we need another one. That will be a name, and that's same data table identifier text NPC description. Maybe it should be the same actually. Because in this am I setting it up here? No. Okay, yeah, we're doing it differently. So let's take this setup weapon meshes. Move that to the master character. And compile. Refresh this one. So now it's the one in the master character instead. Because we want to reuse that function for the AI, but we still want different stuff. So most things here will be the same. Or a lot of stuff will be the same, but we don't need light text because we're going to do that in a different way. We do need main hand mesh. So all of this, these last four, should be copied as well. So static mesh. Static mesh object reference. And name. So that is main hand mesh, main hand socket, offhand mesh, offhand socket. Perfect. But we also need some other stuff here. We're gonna have a float. for max health. And that's fine for now. Then we need to go to our miscellaneous folder, data table. We're gonna make a new data table for the NPC details. And this will be DT NPC details. So like me, a new row, test NPC. Test NPC. Test NPC. And we can ignore that for now, but for the max health, I'm just gonna set it to 100. That's fine. And in our master character, I make a new variable called current health. That will be a float, single variable. And I'll make a new child of this one called BP test NPC. I'll call it dummy NPC. And I'm gonna drag that one in here instead. And for the name, dummy NPC. Dummy NPC as the data table identifier, and the name will be dummy NPC, and that's good enough. So in the master NPC on begin play, we're gonna do the same thing as we did in our master player. Gonna copy this. Add call to parent function, right click here, add call to parent function, plug this in. Basically what this add call to parent function is, if we would put logic in the begin play of the parent character, the master character, that's going to be called before this. And we're gonna change this data table name to the NPC details. The out row, we're gonna delete this, promote a new variable called NPC details. We're gonna plug this in here. Oh, okay, yeah, that's why we did it differently, because it's two different. Okay, let's set up weapon meshes. Let's take this setup weapon meshes and move it back to our master player. There's no right or wrong here. You can put the functions wherever you want to, and you can use the same details as well. Just gonna do like that. We're gonna go back to our player. There we go. And gonna refresh this again. Then we're gonna copy this weapon meshes and put it in the NPC. But actually we don't need that yet, so let's not do that yet, because we might set that up in another way. What we are gonna do though is we're gonna break this and we're gonna set current health to max health. So that's all good. So now, in our master character, for now, we're just gonna, this is not the way we're gonna do it later, but I'm just gonna do a text render. Damage text, just so we can keep track of it. We're gonna do like a proper health bar, but for now I'll just do damage text because it's quicker. Center 100 by default. See if that appears. By default, this will be set to not visible. We're gonna change that later anyway. It's just so I can easily see what's happening. And that it replicates properly. I'm just gonna close down some stuff here. All right, so try damage actor. So in this try damage actor, we're gonna get this one and we're gonna call a engine function called apply damage. But since we're not on the server, you can see this says server only. So this needs to happen on the server. It's not guaranteed that we are on the server. So we're gonna do switch as authority. So that means if we are on the server already, we're just gonna apply damage. But if we are not on the server, we need to go to the server. So we go to shared functions, make a new function, server apply damage. So make this one run on server. We're gonna do this one as reliable, so it definitely always fires. We're gonna need an input, which will be an actor. Actor object reference, damaged actor, and we will do apply damage here. The damaged actor over make an input and the base damage. If we're not on the server, which means we are on the client, we're gonna do apply damage here. And let's do 15. And we will do different stuff for both the player and the NPCs when they receive damage. So let's go into the master NPC and do any damage. In the master character, we will do a shared function called custom event called server set current health. We also need this to replicate. The same for the player. That's already replicated. Cool. So set current health. The input will be float. New current health. And we're gonna replicate this number with this current health variable. But we're gonna do that with something called a rep notify, which you've seen before, I think. Maybe not. Have we done rep notifiers before? Maybe we didn't do that. That's what we usually would do for swapping weapons or stuff. But basically, we did replicate stuff with multicast. That's when the server sends information to all the clients that are net relevant at that moment. But for things like health, that has to replicate whenever something becomes net relevant as well, so not just once. So multicast fires, and if you aren't close by when the multicast fires, nothing is gonna happen. So it's ideal for stuff like effects and sounds and stuff like that. Stuff that isn't necessarily a change of state that is permanent. But in this case, if we multicast a change in the health, and somebody connects to the game afterwards, they are not going to be aware of the multicast. And we could solve that by simply setting this to be a replicated variable. And if it's a replicated variable, it will update to everybody all the time, but this damage text render will not. So if we need to change this damage text render in a replicated way. So the way to do that is we rep notify this. So this is now a rep notify. What does it creates a function inside of the variable. And that function will fire whenever something becomes net relevant. So if I now put this damage text in here, do set text, and I set that text to the current health, that means that if somebody is on the other side of the map, or if they connect after this happened, this text will still be the same. So it will update whenever people connects. It's a constant change, basically. It updates when it notifies. It notifies a new player whenever they become net relevant, which means they walk into a certain distance of the actor, or they connect to the game, or things like that. So this needs to run on the server. It's going to be reliable because we want that to always show. So that should work, I believe. And it's also going to update this variable. So this variable will now be whatever. So in the master MC on any damage, we're going to do server set current health. We are already running on the server, but still. There's one thing with rep notifiers though, they only update if something actually changed. So the new current health, there we go. And did we apply damage? I think we did all the damage stuff, so let's see if I forgot something. Ah yeah, one more thing. We need to set visibility to visible. So we can't just set the current health, obviously, because now we're setting it to the damage received. We need to actually get current health, subtract the amount, and then set the new health amount. So you can see. And you can see it's now 40 on this one as well. And it does not work on the client. And I half expected this. So let's figure out why that is. And the reason that's not working is because of the tracing. So if we do so we clearly hit, right? And we try to damage the actor, but this here is not working. So this should be happening now. Print. So on the client, this should fire, right? So yeah, that is firing. Ah, okay, yeah. I wonder if it's as simple as that. We didn't damage any actors. Okay, yeah, it worked. So there actually was no issue. The logic was correct. Just me being silly. So none. None. There is one issue when playing in editor here though. If I play as 2 clients alone. So this is now a dedicated server. Is that actually working anyway? Okay, yeah. Sometimes that doesn't work. No issue then. And there we go. So now we are able to damage our enemy. So now we just need to set up a proper health bar and stuff, but that's it for this video. Gonna try to keep them fairly short, or as short as possible. And that's gonna be it for this one. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, like and subscribe if you like the videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.